Hello. I am super excited being here and having you join me today. Thank you so much for making time for yourself. Our session is going to be delivering impactful interviews, showing up with confidence, clarity, and most of all, with purpose. The session outline is going to be all about communicating with strength without sounding rehearsed, turning experience into clear career stories, using structure when answering challenging questions, managing nerves before and during the interview, and most of all, connecting your value to the specific role that you want. I want to do a quick check-in with all of you who are here with me today. What is one word that describes how interviews currently feel for you as a person? If you are okay with it, you can do a check-in how you are feeling, but most of all, please write how interviews currently feel for you. It will be a good time for you to pause, reflect, practice, and share with commitment. How are we going to be working together? This is more of my check-in, but most of all, it's going to be our commitment for this session. First of all, think before you answer. That is one of the most important things that we're going to have today. Short silence is useful, so always think before you answer or say anything. It gives your brain time to organize your message clearly. Number 2, share only what feels safe. You can write privately, share in the chat, or speak it, but most of all, feel confident. Practice, not perfection. Today is about progress. Interviews improve through structured repetition. So most of all, please, let's do this together. Now, reflect and share what would make this session useful for you today. That is something you can also share with us in the comment section. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Joyceloy Kyompire. I am the owner and founder of Dare to Glow Consultancy, which is based in the United Arab Emirates, but I work with people in Africa too and all over the world. I am a leadership coach, soft skill facilitator, author, EMCC and ICF certified coach, and a well-being architect with Quantum B, based in the UAE. I support professionals, educators, students, and emerging leaders to grow, lead, own their story, and win with purpose. My focus and the main focus for today is giving you tools and coaching questions to prepare you so that you perform with authenticity when you go for that interview. The reflection question for you now is, what do you want the interview panel to remember about you? When you go for an interview, what do you want the interview panel to remember about you? Or the person who has interviewed you, how do you want them to remember you? Please leave that in the comment section if you are okay to share with us today. I am going to use the GLOW model, which I use for impactful interviews. And we'll also have another model that we will explore together. The GLOW model is G is for grow, which means know the role, your strength, and your evidence. The L is for lead. Lead your answers with structure and relevancy. The O is for own your story, value, and authentic voice. W is for win. Win the moment by managing your nerves and closing well with the interview. As we move through the GLOW model, write one sentence you can actually use in your next interview. If you had an interview tomorrow, what sentence? It can be a line, just a line. What can you actually use in your next interview? You can do this after the GLOW model, or you can explore it now. Grow your interview foundation. Now, the G, which is for grow, before your interview, prepare 3 things: the role that fits you, the strength evidence, and the contribution. Now, when we cover the role fit, that is, what problem is this role trying to solve? Is it something that makes an impact for me while I make the impact for others? What experience do you have that matches it? Have I done this before? Or do I want to learn while doing it? Strength evidence. Which strength can you prove with example, outcomes, or feedback? If they gave you this opportunity in the interview, what evidence would you have that shows you have strength by giving examples of outcomes and feedback towards that role? Contribution. How will you make the team or customer, learner, or organization better? If we hire you, what are you going to add to this organization? What makes you different? So my coaching question for you today is going to be, what is one strength you know you have? One strength you know you have, but struggle to explain clearly. Please share with us. Now, this is a value snapshot that you can use. It is a simple way to articulate your value without over-explaining. My strength. This is just an example. My strength. I am strong at. My evidence. For example, I have done this and this and this. My impact. This has helped by. My link to the role. In this role, I can use this too. So this helps you when you are able to articulate and explain what you are going to do. It becomes easier for the person interviewing you to know that you know what you are going to do. So one practice sentence that you can take from this is, one strength I bring is maybe putting the calendar together for my team. I have shown this by sending reminders on time, even on short notice. This matters because it keeps my team organized, or it kept my team organized, which made work easy for us. So that can be an example that I'm giving, but you can try your own example depending on your role. We are going to explore the L using the STAR model. The L is going to be under the STAR model, which is lead, which is very, very important, because in everything we do, we have to lead ourselves first. Before we lead others, we lead ourselves. And in the STAR model, we are going to go step by step, because structure helps you stay calm, clear, and relevant. S is for situation. which requires you to briefly explain the context. Explain yourself. What is your background? What have you done before? And most of all, keep it short. The next one is T for task. Describe the responsibility, challenge, or goal. This can be more of you explaining your role, what is needed, what have you achieved, what is the goal, and what are the expectations. The A is for action. One of the most important ones, actually the most important one, because in everything we do, we have to deliver. Action is the most important thing, what we put in. So explain exactly what you did. This is the strongest part. Now, when it comes to the action, what did you do? How did you communicate? How did you handle pressure in your previous role? What did you personally contribute? The R is result. Share the outcome, the impact, or the lesson you learned. This is important because it gives the interviewer an opportunity to know what changed in what you did, whatever you did in your role, what changed? What was the outcome in everything you did? Just like the example we gave in terms of you doing the calendar and making sure everyone is on schedule, how did that serve the organization? Did it help them to always keep on task? Did it always remind them to be on track with whatever they have to achieve? So these are things you are able to share with the interviewer. And it's always important to use examples. Just a little reflection on the STAR model. Which part do you usually rush? Is it the situation where you are talking about your background? Is it the tasks? Is it the action or the R for result? Where do you normally rush it? Please share. Now, moving to a live practice on the STAR model, still under the L, which is lead. All right, Khalid shares and says action. Thank you for sharing. Common interview question, we build the answer together. Question. You could be asked, talk us through a time when you had to manage the needs of the business with the needs of the client. This is an interviewer giving you an opportunity to explain your experience. The S can be what was happening at that point of time, depending on your role. Just look at the role you have right now. I want you to use yourself, if possible. Write the S, which is for situation, and let's look at what was happening in your role. Who was involved? When you are using the STAR model, it's very important to keep everything brief. The T, which is the task. What were you responsible for? What was your role? What did success require? In that role that you were doing, what did success require? If you are the team leader of an organization, what did success require for you? For you to say, oh, you know what? I had a successful day. Not your team, but you. This is about you. What did success require for you? The A is for action. What did you personally do? What did you do? You as you. What are those things you remember that you were able to make that were impactful towards your team? Those responsibilities. What decision conversation or process did you lead? Is there any decision, any conversation, or any process that you were able to lead? And how did you lead it? The result, what changed? What is that impact? In everything we do, I love to say that everything I do is about impact, because I honestly believe when you step into an interview, the most important thing is, what impact did I make in the place that I worked before? If it wasn't bringing in finances, because you're not the financial, the sales team, or the team that goes out to look for finances, maybe from different organizations to support your organization, what is that impact you did? And I want to say this very clearly. Normally, in some organizations, you find some people saying, oh, you know what? I don't think I make enough impact. And when you ask this person why, they say, because I'm not the person bringing in the money that pays me at the end of the month. But it's always good to remember that even your role as the person who is making the schedule, the calendar, you may be the personal assistant, you might be the admin. That is your role. How did that role help in the organization moving forward? How did your role help in the organization hitting its KPIs? Was it you being part of meetings and hitting those KPIs that you had? Okay. So your role matters. So when you look at the result, you have to look at your own result. Don't look at the result of another person in the organization, because at that moment, it is about you. It is about you, and it's your moment to shine. So use the opportunity, and when they ask you, what did you change? Be confident enough as an admin person in that organization you worked before to say, I was able to make schedules for everyone to be on time for their meetings. I was taking the reports. I was making the reports after the meetings, so that even the person who is interviewing you for the admin role or for the PA role that you want really sees that you are very organized, because that is one of the biggest roles the admins or PAs or people who put things together do. And this is just an example. There are so many different roles that I'm going to give an example for, but I'm just using this as an example for you to know that whatever you are doing to add to your organization matters. So with this, you can take a screenshot, you can write these questions, but it would be really, really helpful for you if you write for 90 seconds, choose one real example and draft your star bullets. Write down things that mean to you in the situation, in the task, in the action, and in the result using the star model. What was happening for me? What was my role? What was my background? What were my responsibility? What did I add? How did I lead in this organization? What changed? What impact did I leave in the organization? This will help you see and become better at articulating yourself in the interview. Now, we are on the O. We are done with the L, the star model. Now we are on the O, which is own your story, not just your timeline. A timeline tells what happened. A story explains why it matters. Timeline answer. This is just an example, okay? I studied this, then worked here, then moved here, okay? Let me just give an example of myself. I studied I studied so many things. I'll give an example of business administration. Okay, it's one of the things I studied. I studied a bachelor's in education. So let me say, I studied bachelor's of education. Then I worked in 3 schools. Then moved somewhere else where I would say I moved into coaching. I moved into different things. Okay. So this timeline can answer and tell the person exactly where you have come from and where your career has started. Now, the career story answer is a pattern in my career, solving problems through communication, care, and clear action. A strong career story connects your motivation, your transferable strength, because I may have some strength that I have as an educator that I bring to my coaching career, that I bring to my career as a well-being architect right now, to different things that I'm transitioning to. Your evidence of strength, your evidence of growth. When you are connecting your story, your career story, it gives evidence of your growth, how you were able to grow from being this person to this person. For example, you're explaining, I was in the admin and then I was made the manager. How did you come from the role of being an admin in the organization to being a manager? And then you start telling your story. You're fit for this next opportunity. Are you fit for this next opportunity? The only time they can see that you're fit for the next opportunity is when you have a strong career story. So do not be scared. Do not get cold feet to share that story, where you have come from and how you have gotten where you are. Because it gives the interviewer or the person listening to your story to know that you have resilience. You have put in the action to be who you are and to be what you want and where you want to be. Reflection is, what is the thread that connects your career journey? What are those threads that connect your career journey? Did you just get out of school and then boom, you became a principal of a school? How? Share your career story so that someone doesn't feel like that was just a connection. The father owned the school. Let it be, you know what? I became the principal of the school because I had disqualification. I had done some voluntary work, which I did not get paid for, but I served in these roles and this role and this role for me to get there, for them to feel that I was fit for that role. So a career story connects so many things. So own that story and share it so that the person interviewing you, the panel interviewing you, really feels that your story matters. So that your story connects with your timeline. Because if they're not connecting, then there is a problem. If you had a career break in between, share it. I had a career break because I was doing this. I had this issue happening and I took a career break. Or I took a career break because I just wanted a break from work. That can also happen. So share your career story because it is what makes your timeline matter also. Now, build your story bank before the interview. Prepare examples before the interview, not during the interview. Okay? Prepare examples before the interview, not during the interview. Because when you do it before the interview, you get in that interview prepared and ready for action. Now, what is the first thing? Challenge. A time you solved a difficult problem. Practice. Look at all the challenges you went through. Get a friend, get a colleague before, or someone that you trust that can give you proper feedback, constructive feedback. Tell them, I'm going for an interview and I want to share this challenge with you. Please tell me if you think this challenge will be able to matter, because some challenges you may think it's a challenge, but it wasn't a challenge. Okay, so a challenge is a time you solved a problem, a difficult problem in the place you worked before. Conflict, a time you handled disagreement professionally. You might have been in a situation in the organization where maybe something happened that is not professional, but did you reflect on yourself? Did you have the individuals reflect on themselves and then handle the disagreement? Or you were in the middle of the disagreement and you chose a side and just divided this, you divided everyone in the organization. So share a conflict that you handled, or you helped to solve. Maybe you did not have the authority, but maybe you were part of helping that conflict to be solved, to bring amendments in the organization or the individuals who were involved. Leadership, very important. A time you influenced, supported, or guided others. This is what leadership is. And that's why the L that we used was more of the STAR model, because the L is all about you. In leadership, you lead yourself, and when you're able to lead yourself, it's easy for you to lead others. You lead others by influencing them. You lead others by supporting them or guiding them. So share a time in the organization where you influenced, you supported, but most of all, you were able to guide others from A to B. Mistake, a time you learned and improved. This is something you all, or we all, I will put myself in this, we all shy away from. When they ask you, what is one mistake you encountered? You say, no, I don't remember any mistake. That is not possible. We all make mistakes. So it is very essential for you to remember one mistake that is connected to your role, but also connected to the role you are being interviewed for. Don't share something that is completely out of the space that you're being interviewed for. Look for a mistake you made. Maybe, let me give an example of the admin. I'll stick on the admin role. Maybe as an admin, one of the mistakes you made was not to remind the person that had a meeting, scheduled meeting at 8 a.m. and you reminded them at 7:30, 30 minutes before the meeting. Explain that. And then after explaining the mistake, explain how you helped to solve it, how you helped amend the situation. Because when you give how you amended, then it becomes easy for the person to know, oh, okay, so this person made a mistake, but they were able to amend. They were able to help improve it. So you learned from your mistake and improved it. A situation in the organization where maybe you've not been professional, you've crossed the boundary with one of your workmates. You've crossed a boundary with one of the teammates you're working with. And you reflect, because it's very important to reflect. You pause, you reflect. And when you come back, you reconnect with this person or with the team and apologize. Let them know where you went wrong and how you want to make things better. These examples may seem like, oh, I'm shooting myself in the, I am saying, I'm putting myself out there. I am talking about a situation that may make me lose the job, but you don't know that it's making the interviewer understand that you are human. And when you make mistakes, you are able to come through and apologize and make things better. Or most importantly, I'll use the right words. You learned and improved. So you learned not to cross boundaries and you learned to communicate better. Okay? Impact. A time your work created a clear result. When you're building your story, make sure one of the most important things you put is the impact you made, a clear result on how your work was able to make an impact towards the organization. And because we are using the we are using the we are using the example of the admin. Now, I learned the value in communication and clear delegation under pressure. This is when maybe you have you have a missed schedule, you missed to go for an appointment, and then you were able to find a way of clearing it. Okay, but the impact, what is that impact you made that created a clear result? I was able to help my team achieve this. When we came together with my team, we were able to find a solution towards the project that was upcoming. Because it's also very important. Clearly, I want to put this out here. It's important that when you are being interviewed and you are being asked things, you don't just speak about I. You acknowledge that you worked with a team of other people. You know, you give the examples where you say we made a difference in the organization when we were given a project, and this is what I contributed. But I worked with my team and we were able to deliver, and we successfully got the project from the organization we were delivering to. So you acknowledge yourself, the I, and you also acknowledge the people you worked with, which is the we. So you use two words, I and we, where you can, to show that you actually worked with people, which will give the interviewer the view and the point of view and mindset that you actually work well with others. You are a team leader, you are a team player. Now, the change, a time you adapted under pressure. Share where you adapted under pressure. You were given tasks last minute and you were able to deliver them without complaining. You were able to deliver them and it was successful. So practice, pick two categories. Pick two categories and write one story title for each. Do not write the full answer yet. So you can choose the categories that you feel comfortable with right now, that you have a story to tell. You are excited to talk about the challenge. You are excited to talk about the conflict that you handled professionally, you know, through a disagreement. You are excited to share that impact you made. So pick two categories and write one story title for each of them. Now we go to the win. Most importantly, we win, but we don't win when someone hears of the W in the GLOW model. I came up with the GLOW model and I use it for different situations. But when I talk about the W, the win, I always get people thinking, I won. But sometimes it's how you go through situations, persevere through situations. So the W, win the moment by regulating your nerves. Nerves are not failure. They are energy that needs direction, because we all have those nerves breakdowns, you know, where you're about to give a presentation and somehow you start shivering. Your heart starts pumping so fast. So it's very important. I was very, very lucky. I should say very lucky, because I made it on time to attend the session for Anna and Julie, and their sessions really talked about how you should pause and breathe when you're going through situations. Pause and breathe. And I should also say, as a well-being coach, and this is what I do out here in supporting people to pause, meditate, and breathe. It is one of the things you should practice during and before an interview. Breathe, breathe, and breathe. Now, before the interview, because this is our moment to win, right? But we can only win when we control our nerves. Before the interview, prepare 3 story examples, read the role description, and practice your opening answer aloud. Aloud, look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself. If you have someone, a friend, a partner, ask them to help you be your interviewer and allow them, like I said before, to give you constructive feedback. During the interview, pause, breathe. Ask the question to be repeated if you need it. If you need them to repeat the question for you, ask them politely, please, can you repeat the question? Answer the question asked. Do not go around. Do not do merry-go-round. When they ask you something, stay on track with that. And like I said, the interview is about you. You might acknowledge the team members you worked with, but the interview is about you. It's your moment to shine. After a difficult question, use a bridge. When I say use a bridge, this is what I mean. Let me take a moment to structure that. Okay? So when they give you a difficult question, just take time to use a bridge. This bridge is you taking that moment to think and say, let me take a moment to structure that. Go back to what you remember about the STAR model. Return to the STAR model. Remember the T. Okay? I'm going to share one structure that you can use, a simple formula using the STAR model. Here is what was happening. Okay, this is now you sharing the S. This is what was happening, and then share what was happening and that background. Here is what I needed to do. Here is what I did. And here is the impact. You share them, but share them in sequence. Don't start from the R, the result, and then go to the action, and then go to the task, and then go to the situation. Try to take a bridge, like I said, and reflect, and then try to answer in sequence of the STAR model. Now, this, if you try that, this will keep you calm and stay on track with your interview. Now, food for thought is your body's signal. Is your body signal? What is your body signal raising? That is something you have to think about. Before the interview, what is your body signal telling you? Is your body signal telling you, I'm nervous? Because now when you start thinking about nervous, you actually become nervous. Okay? So remember to breathe. Pause and breathe, and it will help you stay calm for your interview. My closing formula for us today: leave a memorable impression. Leave a memorable impression so that even if you don't get the role, you leave an impression that you were able to articulate yourself well, you were able to express yourself with confidence, you were able to take your time to pause and breathe when you were supposed to. Competence plus authenticity creates trust. Now, the closing formula is going to be: number 1, reconnect. Tell the interviewer, thank you for the conversation. What I have heard is that this role needs, and you can talk about it. Reinforce value, because you are valuable. When you get an opportunity to an interview, that shows they really want to work with you. It's an opportunity for you to show what you have done, to share your career story. My experience in, you explain, would help me contribute by, then you explain. Okay? I was going to go back to the example we've been using for admin. Okay, but you can use your own example in the current role that you're in. And then show interest. It's very important to show interest to the interviewer or to the panel. I would be excited to bring to this team and continue learning. Then you explain what you're going to continue learning. Create your own. What is one sentence you want to say before the interview ends? Please, you can use this closing formula for you to explain and give and create your own sentence on what you will say before the interview ends. It will help you prep yourself better. All right, so some group coaching practice, choosing one interview question, move from learning to practice. These are things that help you before going for an interview. Sit down with yourself in a mirror if you don't want to speak to someone, but it would be very, very beneficial for you if you get someone that you actually sit with and tell them, please give me constructive feedback. And then the person becomes the interviewer, or you can even have 5 people or 2 people. It becomes a panel. And then start. Tell me about yourself. Explain yourself. Write your answer in 3 or 4 bullets. Don't write so much. Explain yourself. The next question, these are questions that they always ask in interviews. And this is supposed to be a group coaching practice for us to practice and see how it would look when we're in an interview. Why are you interested in this role? Why you? Why should we choose you? What makes you special? What makes you different from all these 100 people who want the same job you want? Now, share with your partner or in a small group or chat. Now, describe a time you handled pressure. Give it in detail, a time you handled pressure and came out successful. Okay? Tell me about a time you had to influence someone. Now, when you are doing this, try to receive one strength and one reinforcement. Feedback rule, what landed clearly, what could become more specific. Try as much as possible if you are getting feedback from someone or constructive feedback, like I said, from someone else or from a group of people who are practicing with you for your interview, to try and be clear. But most of all, it's important for them to give you feedback that helps you for your interview. Now, your 7-day interview confidence plan, a small preparation action to create visible confidence. I do this with people who are stepping into different roles and are looking at preparing themselves for an interview. But I want to share it with you so you can take a screenshot, or you can write it down, whatever is easy for you. So in day 1, clarify the role and top 3 requirements. Day 2, work on write your value snapshot. Day 3, build 4-star stories. 4, practice, tell me about yourself. This is where you practice with someone or in a group. Day 5, record and refine one answer. Day 6, prepare 3 questions to ask the panel. Day 7, regulate, rehearse, reset. Very important for the 3 hours. The 3 hours help you to put all the 6 in check, because you regulate, you rehearse, and you reset and get ready for that interview, to ace that interview. Now, commitment is, what is the one action you will take within the next 24 hours? If you are practicing for your interview, what action are you going to take in the next 24 hours to prep yourself for that interview so that you ace it? You do not need to perform. You need to prepare, connect, and communicate clearly. This is my final reflection. What is one belief about interviews you are choosing to leave behind? And what is one belief you are choosing to carry forward from today? From today, not from the other day, from yesterday, from today. What one belief, only one, please share in the comment section. It will be lovely to share with us so that we see your point of view, okay? What is one belief about interviews you are choosing to leave behind? And what belief are you choosing to carry forward to become a better version of yourself? Using the GLOW model, using the STAR model, but I want you to just share with us so that we see your point of view. Otherwise, it's been amazing. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself, daring yourself to glow, and most of all, being part of the Career Breakthrough Summit 2026. Now, if you want to connect with me, you can scan the QR code, and the first three, we will connect and possibly have a one-on-one 30 minutes call and see how we can work together. The other QR code down here is the Dare. I have a Dare to Glow book. I'm an author, and my Dare to Glow book is all about career growth. It's all about career transition. It's all about prepping yourself for that interview. It's all about you becoming a better version of yourself through challenging yourself every day. And then on this side, this is my website to my LMS. Okay, it's like I paused, sorry. This is the website to my LMS, which is all about different courses that you can explore on leadership, on career growth, on stepping out of your comfort zone, on building your confidence, and every other thing in terms of building your career and becoming a better version of yourself. So I remain the Dare to Glow coach. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself, and stay blessed.